Yo dudes, what's up? This is PlanetKeef, I'm Keef, and today is episode 37 of the weekly vlog thing, yay! This is actually covering 2 weeks, like 4 days before Christmas up to the end of the year. And so yeah, it's a bit complicated. And as you know, this time of year, you just lose track of time and days have no meaning. You don't know what you're supposed to be doing, and yeah, and so, you know, you don't do much. We'll start 4 days before Christmas when I had an engagement to impersonate a Santa Claus at a kiddie's Christmas party down the road. So they got a Santa suit off Amazon, which was surprisingly good, really, except the beard that was just... I should have actually practiced this beforehand, but I didn't. So the beard was a little bit slack, and I just had to hold it on all the time, and you know, fighting off the kids who wanted to pull it off, as they do. Anyway, so that was interesting. So maybe that's what I'll be doing with my Christmases in the years to come. I have been told some of the older kids suspected it was me. Well, round about this time of year, a lot of the big series will have a Christmas special, which they've pre-recorded probably in September, if not earlier. And the Great British Sewing Bee was no exception. 2 Christmas specials, in fact. And interestingly for us, they were filmed locally at Sunnybank Mills in Farsley, which is a place that we go to an awful lot. And yeah, great to see. I don't think the drone pilot had really got to grips with the location because, you know, there was a lot more they could have shown. But, you know, normally they film the Sewing Bee in a warehouse in East London's Docklands. And so, yeah, it's nice to see them venturing up north, because we had a bit of a textile industry here as well, you know. We've been kind of on tenterhooks with COVID and possible travel restrictions that might have been imposed because our son was due to come up on Christmas Eve. And anyway, as it turns out, he did, because there was no travel restrictions, and he was able to come up with his girlfriend in her little motor car. So no, you know, risking germs spreading on public transport and that. So that was good. Our baby's got a bit of a tradition going now. If he's coming up north, he'll order a box of fancy cheese from Neal's Yard Dairy in that London and have it delivered here. I mean, a tradition. He did it last year, he's done it this year. So, you know, a lovely box of smelly cheese arrived before him. I mean, it wasn't smelly at the time. It is now, some of it. Christmas Day, I know I've cooked 2 Christmas dinners in December already. So for the real one, I actually got a goose, and I had a lot of comments on the previous ones where I'd done turkey, and people saying, turkey's not traditional, no. And so yeah, I had a goose, but I'm not showing you how I cooked it. Also, on Christmas Day, there's always speculation about whether it'll be a white Christmas, will it snow or not? And apparently it was a white Christmas. It wasn't here, and it wasn't in most of mainland UK, except for the northern tip of Scotland and also the Shetland Islands, where they got some snow. And that's enough of the definition. You know, the official definition is 1 snowflake spotted anywhere in the United Kingdom territory. So that was a white Christmas. But in actual fact, through the night of the next day, Boxing Day, it did snow. We got about 1 centimetre of the stuff, and it settled. So that scuppered any plans we might have had for driving anywhere. They were scuppered anyway. We had thought about going back to Skipton previously. I told you about the Royal Shepherd Inn, and we thought we'd take our son there to sample their wonderful sausages. But yeah, with the snow and that, not to be. It was too snowy. So on Boxing Day, which is, if you don't know, in the UK we call the day after Christmas Boxing Day. I don't really know why, but we do. So we didn't go for a drive, but we did go for a walk down the canal and finished up having a pint at the Railway Inn, which is always lovely. There was another pair of Christmas specials that I'd been looking forward to ever such a lot. The new incarnation of Worzel Gummidge with Mackenzie Crook. And this is not a regular series. It tends to be, you know, one here, one there, la la la. And in fact, there's only been 4 or 5 of them. and they're an absolute delight. They're really, really funny. They're really gentle, kind, uplifting, la-li-la. But there was one of these fresh episodes, Twitchers it was called. It was about bird watchers, and 2.7 million people watched it and did not complain, but 2 or 3 people did complain, and it just makes you wonder about, you know, the kind of lives these people have, and also the newspapers that reported it as like the end of the world as we know it. Come on, get a life. Anyway, what they complained about was the names of some birds. These are actual birds. Red-knobbed coot, blue-footed booby, and penduline tit, or penduline tit, I don't know. And they're saying, like, you know, this kid's program and nah. And I don't know, if you, it's always been kind of traditional that kids' programs will have a bit of double entendre popped in, like, you know, Master Bates on Captain Pugwash and stuff like that. And it's just known and accepted, and just get on with it, like it or not. You know, it doesn't actually affect the kids, because they know a lot more than you think they know. And I know this because I used to be a kid. All right, New Year's Eve was interesting. Mrs. Planet had to work. Her working schedule's been all over the place this last couple of weeks. But yeah, so she was working, and I got down to doing a couple of repair jobs. One is Mrs. Planet's sewing machine, where the pin that holds the bobbin has broken because of exceedingly bad design, I would say. Fortunately, it's a Singer sewing machine, and they do sell spare parts. So I got a spare part for this, and set about installing it. It did involve quite a lot of dismantling of the casing, and that was a little bit scary. But I managed to do it, get it in place, and put the whole casing back together with no screws left over. So yeah, good on me, and good on Singer. The other thing, you won't believe this, our toilet seat broke. Yes, it did. Now, the original toilet seat that was installed when we moved in, it was okay, and it was a nice soft close action. But over time, it's the fixing wouldn't grip, and it would move about, and you know, it would get absolutely filthy, and you couldn't clean it properly. And in the end, we just got rid of it and got a new one. Only maybe 6 months ago, and that started to work itself loose. And you know, I liked it because it just had 2 separate disc fittings, and so you could wipe around them easily. But there's a threaded rod that goes through to fix underneath, and that started to wobble, and it actually sheared off. It broke. I'd assumed it was stainless steel, but it wasn't. It was a galvanized steel, and basically it was get a new toilet seat. So I got one from the wonderful Screw Fix. They had it in stock, so I went and got it and installed it, and it's a soft close one again. It also has 2 discs where it meets the toilet pan, but also you've got a push button for quick release of the whole seat assembly, so that you can give it a proper clean, and it's just brilliant. So I did that, and I'm quite happy. And then, so yeah, did I say that was? So that was New Year's Eve, and our lovely neighbours next door came round to tell us they would be letting off some rockets shortly before midnight from the front garden, and we were welcome to come and join them and have a glass of champagne if we felt inclined. So I did. Mrs. Planet didn't, because she had toddled off to bed early. But she did see the fireworks, because when you've got 5 rockets launched just outside your bedroom window, and all of, you know, the Leeds skyline across the valley, it's a sensational sight. And no, I didn't get any photos, sorry. And we had planned to visit my sister in East Yorkshire after the New Year actual, but it was not to be, because she just tested positive for COVID. So, well, fingers crossed on that one, and we'll see what happens. Anyway, Happy New Year. and all of that. And yeah, see you next time.